Hello everyone. So in today's video we are going to begin right away on developing or coding our first web server using Express.js. In my last video tutorial, under our backend development playlist, we looked at what backend development is all about. We looked at we saw what backend developers do. We talked about API, servers, and all of that. So in today's video, we are going to get right away into practical coding or development. So the image you see on my screen is a graphical explanation of how back-end and front-end works. So remember, we are developing back-end. So as you can see on my screen on this image, the client here could represent simply represent let's say perhaps any browser in your mobile phone, your tablet, your computer, while your web server is simply that dedicated computer, or your development, let's say your development computer, where the web pages, the databases, and the files are found. So usually whenever a device or client makes a request to the server, the server sends a response, and the response could simply be that page, that media, or that query requested by the client. So we are going to work with Express.js. Remember, in our last video we installed Node.js, we installed MongoDB. So as we work along today, we are going to see how we can install modules and create a simple Express server. And so you might be asking yourself, what is Express.js? Because we've been talking along about Node, about Node.js, and today you hear me talking about Express.js. So what is Express.js? Express.js is simply a Node framework, that makes life easier when creating web applications or a web server. It, as explained, it provides a kind of easy way to create a web server rather than a native Node.js method. So that is why most developers use Express.js. So this image which you've just seen here now, this image, we are going to develop something that actually implements this. So right away, let's get into our text editor and start writing some code. So here we have Visual Studio Code, and we are about to develop our first Express server. So to begin, we will need to install some modules. So Node.js uses modules, and these modules play a handy role. Each module actually is like a package that has a specific duty or task, or plays a specific role. So to get started, let's begin by creating an npm file. So we are going to do an npm init. It's going to generate an npm file, package name Node.js. So you could actually fill this out by writing what you desire. So description, we could just say Express server, entry point index.js. So it could be index.js, it could be app.js, it all depends on you. Test command, git repository, let's skip that for now. And okay, yes, so we have our package.json file created. So the package.json file, it's actually a file that will keep track of node modules installed, keep track of some important configurations when working with Node.js. So with our npm file already created, sorry, our package.json file created, let's create that file, the index.js file, which we said it's our start file. So oops, sorry. So let's do that. index.js. So we have our index.js file, and then so let's start by installing modules. Yes, so let's install Express, which we are going to use because Express is a module. It doesn't come automatically with Node.js. So installing Express, we simply run the command npm install Express. So it could be npm install Express or npm I Express, so it all depends on you. So npm install Express, so we run that. So there are some people who prefer using Yarn, some prefer using Express. So our Express package has been installed, and so notice something. In our package.json file we have Express along with the version, and we have the main, the description. You realize that the information that we input when initializing npm, you realize that they are found here, and we have our main file. So immediately we installed our first module, what do we find? We see a new folder, node module. So this is a folder where our node modules are stored, and our node module files are kept, and their dependencies. So that's it. I think we configure our start script. Okay, so before then, let's install another module. So I guess the importance of Express.js. So now let's install npm install node1. So I'm kind of going to show you the role of node1, but let's install that. I think it takes a flag -d. Let's check that out. Okay, so that's it. We have node1 package installed, and you realize that it falls under dev dependency. So that is why the flag D was added upon when typing the command. So that's it. Let's write some code in here. Coming back to this package.json, let's see. So we have start, and we have oops. Yep, sorry about that. So at the level of our start command, it's going, usually it is node, the name of the main file, like node index.js. But since we have nodemon installed, so it's going to be nodemon, yeah, index.js. Okay, we save that. So let's begin writing some some code. And as mentioned earlier, Express.js has made it extremely easy to create a web server, create APIs, and do a lot more. And so to begin, we must import the Express module which we installed. And so we do that with const express require, and so we import the module express. And so this is the format, the way it's done in Node.js. Anyone from the JavaScript background will think about import, but this is the way it is done when creating this with Node. And we then create an instance of Express, so that becomes const app equals Express instance. And so we store an instance of Express in the app variable or constant. Then let's then create our first route. I believe when we view the output of this code, it is going to explain better. So let's say we have the home, and then we do a request, request response, send. So if somebody hits on the route home/home, our server is going to send the response, hello, welcome home. So the app, the instance of Express has a method that listens to from a port. So we can configure our web server to listen on the port, let's say 3000, and we add a function that is going to print out something on the console when it's connected to the port. So we can say server listening on port 3000. Good. Therefore, we have imported our module, or included our module, and then we have created an instance of Express, and has stored that in the app variable, or let's say constant. Then we have created the HTTP method get, and we have assigned a response for this route. It therefore means that anyone that accesses the route home will get the response, hello, welcome home. And then this web application will be listing on the port 3000. So then I think this sample code illustrates this diagram. It therefore means that if I open up my browser now and I check out the port 3000, then my server is going to respond with hello, welcome home. And so let's try that out. But before then, we need to start our Express server. So how do we do that? We head on to our console and we hit. So there are two ways we can do this. It can either be node index server listening on port 3000. But the challenge with this method is whenever we make changes in our code, we'll need to rerun the server again, and you find yourself then constantly typing node index in the command line. And therefore, to save time, people or developers prefer using the NodeMon module. So the NodeMon module, which we installed as a dev dependency, meaning it's a dependency or a module only during development. That's why it has been classified under dev dependencies. And with the NodeMon module, whenever you make changes in your code, it automatically reruns the server. Therefore, let's use that. So using NodeMon, what we simply do is we hit NodeMon index.js, or just index. Let's see. Okay, let's hit npm start. Okay, yes, so another alternative is to run npm start. Remember, when configuring our start script, we attached the command that will be executed if we run npm start on a browser, on the command line, sorry. So if changes are made on this code, our server will automatically be restarted. So that's it, server listening on port 3000. So let's write down to port 3000. So localhost 3000. So let's run and see what happens. Oh, cannot get, and this is because the route which we set in our code, oops, I think I had to maximize this. So the route which we set on our code was /home. So let's run localhost 3000 home, and there you go, we get hello, welcome home. So this explains the diagram we find on my screen. The browser is a client, the web server just responded with hello, welcome home, as we configured here. So that said, this is an easy way to begin learning Express. So in our next tutorial, we are going to explore more of this, more of routes, more of HTTP methods. We have get, put, post. We are going to explore more of these. We are equally going to explore more modules and see how we can use them to build something interesting. So stay tuned. You can check out our previous videos on backend development playlist. Like, subscribe, comment any questions you may have, and share. Goodbye.